Have you ever wondered where the problems in the world today would exist if we had deeper connection to ourselves, others, and the environment and acted from that place? Welcome to the Conscious Action Podcast with your host, Brian Berneman, who believe that connection is the key to taking conscious action as individuals and creating a better world. We are here to raise awareness and inspire meaningful action by sharing stories, knowledge, and conversations with thought leaders and change makers. From sustainability to well-being and everything related to conscious living, our mission is to empower you to be the change that you want to see in the world. Welcome everyone to a new episode of the Conscious Action Podcast. I am Brian Berneman, your host. For this episode, I wanted to talk a little bit and explore the topic of balance, of equilibrium, and harmony. And this is something that I have found through the years that is key in our experience as humans, within ourselves, in relationship to others, and in relationship to our Mother Earth. And it's really interesting because I notice in my own experience a lot of times when there's been times that things don't feel that they are okay. And when I reflect on it, I find a lot of times that there's some imbalance on the giving and receiving. There's either I am giving too much and not receiving enough, or I am taking too much and not giving enough. And it's been really interesting seeing this as well from what is happening as well on the earth and how we're getting to the places that we're getting in society and what's going on with the idea of growth and capitalism and colonialism and the understanding of the taking. But what are we giving back? You know, what are the things that we are giving back to our Mother Earth? She keeps on giving us, she keeps on giving us, she keeps on giving us, and we are taking. And not that many of us, we give back. Not that many of us understand that cycle and that harmony that is created when everything is balanced. When that giving and receiving comes to a place of equilibrium. And that doesn't mean that, there's no different cycles of the giving and different cycles for receiving. Yet, how are we balancing all of that? How are we creating already systems in place for allowing that to take place? Where are we placing the giving back every time that we are receiving? And this is something that I've seen when I was living, especially in the Buddhist center, that everything was an exchange. And I find the exchange economy such an interesting space in that, because everything is about giving and receiving, and about, you give your time, you give your presence, you give your skills, and you receive whatever it is that you are seeking in return. Like, for example, for me, that was a place to live, food. So I had a roof on top of my head, I had food, I had like spaces for practicing and learning, and then I was giving back in the classes that I was giving and the work that I was doing and the different things in the community that required my time and energy. And sometimes this, of course, is really interesting because the sharing economy, it's all about understanding our own place and our uniqueness and how we value things. So, for example, I could say that 1 hour of my time equals 5 hours of your time. Why? Because of something that I perceived. Or it might be the other way around. that 5 hours of my time equal 1 hour of your time. If you have a skill or some wisdom that I would love to know or to start to embody more, getting to that place of understanding and flow of giving and receiving without the judgment is one of the key aspects there. So how do we get to a place of equity and equality where we are all of the time judging each other, and like you're getting more than me, or judging and things like that? And it's like, well, we need to take a step back a lot of times and understand, okay, how do we flow? How do we allow ourselves to live in community and in cooperation and collaboration and coexist with each other without competing, without judging, and just allowing things to flow? So at some point, someone is going to be needed a little bit more, and at some other point, someone else. So how are we allowing that giving and receiving to actually flow? And that, for me, is something that is key moving forward, something that I envision for the future. This is the future that we can have, this thriving future that is balanced, that is aligned to each of us and to the core and our essence of what is important in this world. And it's important to understand that love with our Mother Earth, with each other, with ourselves, understanding the preciousness of life, the preciousness and the beauty of life, because it's very impermanent. Everything comes to an end, and we don't know when. So when we understand that impermanence and we keep that in the top of our mind and awareness all of the time, then we start to engage differently with life. Now, one of the keys there is understanding that just because I don't know when it's going to end, instead of taking, can I bring more balance and harmony to my life? So, I couldn't go completely self-centered, and I could be, well, this is short, I don't know when it's going to end, so I'm just going to take, and have all of these experiences and all of this money and all of this, whatever it is that I'm seeking, without caring about anybody else, without caring on that balance of giving back, without caring about what's going on with other people. So we need to keep that in mind. That is the balance a lot of the time. And I find that balance in life is so important. This is one of the things of why I've been so drawn to the Buddhist philosophy and that way of living, because it's all about that middle way. It's about understanding that space in the middle. There's the giving, there's the receiving, there's the doing, there's the being, there's the speaking, there's the listening. Bringing all of these different elements into our awareness might take a while, because we need to unlearn so much of our conditioning that led us to this place that everything is about a linear way, extracting, taking, hoarding, instead of allowing the cyclical and circular momentum to take place. So the invitation is for us as individuals and for us as a society to reflect on this. Where are the areas in our lives and in our systems that are out of balance? And what can we do about that? The more that we as individuals find balance, the more of a ripple effect that has on the whole as well. And we need these different approaches. Some people might be working more on a systemic change to bring balance there. And we need everything. That is what creates the balance. All of the pieces of the puzzle need to actually work together, even though it seems that they are actually separate. Everything is connected. There's an energy entanglement on everything. So when we understand that, then we can create that harmony in our lives. we can create a harmonious life for everyone on this beautiful planet. That is my vision for the future. So I invite you, take the time, reflect. Where are the areas in your life that feel out of balance? How can you bring more balance into it? Do you need to talk to someone? Do you need to seek for support? Can you do it by yourself? Just ask yourself these questions. You might not get an answer, but just asking the questions is the important thing. Just questioning is the first step. So I hope that you take the time to do that. And thank you for listening. And I'll see you all on the next episode. Bye.
What did you like the most about this episode? Take a moment to think about what change you can make in your life today.
Share your conscious action on social media using #ConsciousAction and tagging @ConsciousActionNZ so we can celebrate your impact on the world and create a ripple effect.
One easy action we would love for you to take right now is to share, like, and subscribe to this podcast. This will help us get these messages out into the world and inspire more people to take conscious action in their own lives, contributing to the better world we hope for.